Natchitoches' home for urban vibe. And now, you're listening to Talk Back Natchitoches with Pastor Steve Harris.
Good morning and welcome to Talk Back Natchitoches. Yours truly, Pastor Stephen Harris. And listen, we invite Lottie Dottie and everybody in here on this Monday. Hopefully you had a wonderful supercalifragilisticexpialidocious weekend, because I'm just excited about Monday. Amen. And who we have in the studio with us. But we're going to begin like we always do with a word of prayer. Lord God, how we thank you and praise, glorify, magnify, and lift you up, for this is the day that you made. And Lord, you've allowed us to participate in a day that we've never seen before. And because of that, Lord, we say thank you. We thank you because we know it wasn't because we've been so good and we've done everything that you told us to do, but it's because of those two sisters, Grace and Mercy, that has been active in our lives that we see this day. Now, Lord, we pray that this segment will be informative, inspiring, and impactful. We ask all of these blessings in the matchless and awesome name of Jesus the Christ. Amen and amen. Well, listen, again, we pray that everyone had a wonderful and safe weekend. Lately, I have been doing some of the things that we don't like to do, but we have to do it as kingdom spiritual leaders. Every now and then we have to bury the dead. But in spite of all of that, we know that when we die in Christ, it is a vehicle to transport us from one side to the other. And so in the Western culture, we kind of shy away from talking about death and things. In the Eastern culture, they talk about death all the time, because they understand we are between life and death all the time, transitioning. And but listen, I am joined today by a young man that we are kin in that we have the same first name.
That's right.
And his name is Mr. Stephen Wren.
Wren.
W-R-E-N, Wren.
That's it, like the bird.
Yes, and he is the principal of one of two non-public schools that's recognized by LDOE. And you all have been around a long, long time.
Since 1888.
1888.
Yes, sir. 1888. So we're pretty proud of that.
God, man, that's a long time. And now, but you're not originally from here. So tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and how it came to be that you are now the principal of St. Mary's, one of the historical non-public schools in Natchitoches.
Well, you mentioned that I was young. I'm not young. I don't feel young anyway. But I'm from Lake Charles.
Okay.
I had the privilege of going to a Catholic school from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you know a little bit about Catholic.
A little bit. I've been in it for quite a few years.
Yes.
Yeah. So then I graduated from McNeese.
Okay.
Started teaching back in my alma mater, St. Louis Catholic in Lake Charles in 2000. Stayed there for about 4 years, then moved on to Opelousas Catholic. Stayed there for 9 years, went back to St. Louis for another 4 years or so. And then, when I was in Opelousas, I met this girl that kind of got her hooks into me and wouldn't let me go. So she has family up here. She came to Northwestern. So we ended up coming up here, moving up to Natchitoches. And I've worked at St. Mary's since 2017. So I've spent, kindergarten through 12th grade in a Catholic school. And then I've worked in a Catholic school for for 26 years.
Oh my God, man! And so you got fought by a demon.
I did.
Well, you know,
That was hard too. Being from McNeese, that was tough.
Well, my wife, I hate to say that word demon, but she's one of them here for you, whatever they call them. But thank God, Northwestern has some good people.
Yes.
With that being said, when we talk about, you said Lafayette or Lake Charles?
Lake Charles.
Lake Charles probably has more Catholic schools. That's much like what it's non-public, much like here in Natchitoches.
There are about 6 elementary Catholic schools that feed into the one Catholic high school over there.
Okay, so it's one
high school, one Catholic high school, but there are 6 feeder schools.
Yeah.
So that's a big help. You go from an elementary Catholic school, you just transition right into the high school. It's a little bit different here.
Okay. Well, I know that they have. I thought they had more than just one high school in as far as Catholic schools, but you know better than I do. So you have a rich history, background in the Catholic school system that made you a perfect fit. And how long you been principal?
That's my 3rd year.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Man, so St. Mary's has a rich legacy. How do you balance the tradition with the man of modern education?
We're really proud of the tradition that we have. Like I said, 1888. We've been bringing Catholic education to Natchitoches, and we're really, really proud of that. But we're also proud of the way that we bring faith into the lives of the kids every single day, whether they're Catholic or non-Catholic. We do have a lot of non-Catholic students that go to St. Mary's, and that's important that they feel integrated into the school as well, and not feel isolated because they're not Catholic. Our chancellor, Father Arian St. Romain, does a really good job of letting the kids know that this is a Catholic school and we're going to teach the Catholic values, but we all worship one God.
Right.
We all worship one God, and we all have the same goal, and that's to get to heaven and to be with Him for eternity. So we take a lot of pride in that as well. Yeah,
one faith, one baptism. And so as it pertains to the academics of the students and developing them, how is St. Mary preparing students for college career and life beyond the classroom?
Well, first of all, we implemented a service program, so our students all do service hours to get into the community and learn that it's more than just about being in the classroom. It's about getting out there and doing things for other people and learning that. We want to teach academics. We also want to teach them to be good people.
Right.
But our academics, we're very proud of our academics. We have a strong academic foundation from pre-K, well now 2-year-old. We start 2-year-old this year. From 2-year-old all the way up through 12th grade. We focus on reading and literacy, and we focus on critical thinking. Just making sure that when they get out of the classroom, they can figure out things on their own. But all our high school kids, once they graduate, they have taken every course that makes them eligible for TOPS, which is a big help for them whenever they get into college. But we are a college prep school. We offer dual enrollment classes and honors classes and all those things that are going to get them ready.
So when you talk about a non-public LDOE school, what does that mean? There's certain things that you all had to do to be recognized as an LDOE school. Could you let the audience know?
Okay, well, we are recognized as a LDOE school, and going through all that process, and we've been recognized for a really long time. Right. So,
yeah.
but every 5 years we have to go through an accreditation process. So we are nationally accredited through Cognia. It's a nationally recognized accreditation company. So we have to go through that every year, and we have to, provide documentation of what we're doing and how we are improving and what they go through, and they talk about things, the ways that we can improve,
right?
Because we're always looking to improve. We're not the perfect school. We know that we have some issues and we have some things that we need to fix. So
challenges.
That's right.
Like all schools.
That's right. So we go through that, and we try to fix those issues that they bring up and get better at what they say we need to get better at. And the next 5 years we go through it again. So yeah, we are nationally accredited through Cognia. So that's pretty big.
So that they assess certain things to make sure that you have to answer to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's important, man. Because to me, when you have some of the schools that pop up, and you do have a whole lot of them that pop up, there's no accountability, and that's very important to me because I'm on the school board.
Mm-hmm.
So schools that don't have to have any type of accountability, to me, sometimes at the end of the day, you look at it and you say, okay, who's making sure that this, that, and the other is happening? It doesn't happen that way with St. Mary's. St. Mary's, as it pertains to teachers and things like that, and it's hard to get teachers anyway.
Oh, very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard. That makes our teachers special too. We don't get paid a whole lot.
Yeah.
To go work at St. Mary's. For us, it's more of a calling from God.
Wow.
To serve the kids.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And it's funny because you can go anywhere and you can make a lot more money than you can make at St. Mary's. But like I said, it's a calling to go work there. It's a blessing to work there at the end of the day. And we have some really good teachers.
Right. And how is St. Mary's funded? I know there's probably different pots of money that come in, but I know more than likely you all get some MFP.
We are funded through tuition, so we rely on the students to help fund the school. We do our fundraisers and things like that, just to try to raise some money to help out here and there. But ultimately, the way we pay our teachers, the way we keep the lights on, is through the tuition.
And are there scholarships?
Yes, that's one thing too. There's a misconception that if it's a Catholic school, it's the tuition is high. There's no way we can afford it. That's not true. We have the ACE scholarship that families can apply for.
Right.
We have a RETE that families can apply for. But even if the Gator scholarship families can apply for, but even if you're turned down for all of those, we still encourage you to come talk to us because we have made many, I don't want to say deals, but we've helped families out, that really want to come to St. Mary's and be a part of that Catholic education. So, even if you don't, you're not able to get any of those scholarships, please come talk to us anyway. We're happy to sit down and talk with you and see what we can do.
Because a lot of times there's a misconception.
Yes.
That, hey, look,
we just can't afford
get in.
Mm-hmm.
So those different scholarships, the A scholarship and things like that, they are given only to the ones who are LDOE though, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So people who are trying to go to maybe one of these schools that's not recognized, and before this year, you all were the only other non-public school that was recognized by the LDOE. So again, that says a lot, and it didn't happen just one time. Since what,
1888.
1888. So also it gives you all opportunity to play sports against public schools.
Right.
Because we played you all before. We used to play you all football. We still play football and basketball and things like that. And that's been for years.
Yeah.
Never has stopped.
Right. That, we offer a lot of sports. For being such a small school, sometimes I wonder why we offer so many sports. With so few students. But I mean, from football to basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, track, cross country, wrestling, tennis, powerlifting. We offer a lot of sports, and for our high school kids, I would say there might be 10 students in the high school that don't participate in some kind of sport. But we also have the clubs that they can participate in. But like you said, we are part of the LHSAA, so we are eligible to compete against those other public schools and go into the playoffs and compete for a state championship every year, and we do. We're very competitive, and
absolutely
proud of that as well.
And I think we were speaking off line a little bit about the decline in population, like the public school. How is it affecting you all?
It's big, like you said, with the decline of the population, not many people are moving into Natchitoches. Housing is expensive.
Yes.
Plants closing down. Things like that. That's affecting the enrollment. Just like everywhere else, though, we're not the only school that's declining in enrollment. But we have started up a 2-year-old program, and we're doing everything to help build that enrollment back up from the young ones. It's hard to get kids whenever they're in high school. They're already established somewhere. it's tough to get them. We'll take them. Absolutely, we'll take them over. But we're building that 2-year-old program into our pre-K program. That's a very big focus for us right now to build that enrollment. But it's not just us. It's everywhere.
Everywhere. It's just how you mitigate it, and with you being in the system as long as you have, and it seems like your vertical is pretty good. I tell people all the time, if you got a good vertical, your horizontal gonna be all right. If you got a good connection with God, God will tell you how to mitigate things, and He will also show you up the road what's going on and what am I have to do to address this issue. And so, just like all schools all over the country, now, I can tell your wife that thank God you brought him down here, because one of the fastest growing areas is that of the Lake Charles and Lafayette area. People are moving into those areas and things. But I must say, thank God that you're in Natchitoches. So we deal with the fact that we have a declining population. We've identified some of the problems that we're having with housing, affordable housing, plants closing and things like that. But again, if we have a robust educational system with a major university, trade schools, and things like that, we have to be able to train these children. And if we can get them trained before they get out of high school with dual enrollment and things like that, that's even better. Because the last plant that came to Natchitoches, thank God for Mr. Ben Johnson, and I was on that board, we had to remediate and train a workforce. And that's never good. we all have a workforce already ready to go forward. So, is there anything that you all are doing to address that?
We have talked about trying to find ways to get into the trades and things like that, but with a small school like St. Mary's, we're kind of limited on what we can and can't do with our staffing and everything. So that's still a process for us to be able to train those kids to get into those business things right after school. But we're working on it.
It's
we're
not like being in Lake Charles where you have all these factories, all these people who are willing to come in and volunteer and train and things like that. Most of the times you got to have some type of stipend or something to get this person to come in and help. I would say this, I got a good friend. He's done everything he can to help in our system, and I'm almost sure he would help you all too. Michael Stewart, he's a person who worked in the industry a long time, the IP, matter of fact. And so those are, to me, important things. But what we're going to do, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I want to capture some things that you think that's important for our audience to know about.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. So what are some things that you think that's important?
About St. Mary's?
There's some things that you all are trying to do, or different directions.
First, I do want to mention about the enrollment, about calling, setting up tours.
Cool.
With Miss Norman, I kind of mentioned the 2-year-old program.
Is that a new program?
That is. We just started this year.
Pound on
Okay.
Yeah.
It's it's a daycare.
So
that's what it is. But
that's what I was going to ask you all, because I know the other school is in a lot of schools all around the country. I've even said it for hours. They're going to a 4-day school, and to me, all of the teachers, when I talk to the teachers, oh man, they would love it, because they would, I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You get off on that Friday, you can take your long vacation, because these teachers are really having to deal with mental stuff, man,
Yeah, it's not just teaching anymore. It's you're a teacher, you're a counselor.
And we are back. By the way, I want to say that 500 North apartments, and when I say apartments, it's more like townhouses over there. I want you all to go and hit that website, go over, talk to the different ones, apply. Because listen, it's going to be limited. And once I think people get into those apartments, they're not going to want to get out. So right now they have open enrollment to try to get into 500 North apartments. And I just want to say that myself. I know the great work that they've done, and we don't say they are cheap, but they are affordable. Same thing. Y'all not cheap, but you are affordable.
That's right. That's a good way to put it.
So let's talk some more about the 2-year-old program. Did you all just decide to that is a population that y'all hadn't looked at, or what drew you all to do? There
were a lot of conversations about just different ways that different things that we can do to help increase the enrollment and everything at school, and it's important to get them early and retain them. Right. And that's something that we talked about a lot and what we could do. So you sitting around the round table, man, we just had a big conversation and listening to people in the community, listening to some of our parents. You know, we have, you know, pre-K 3 with their, you know, man, I got a 2-year-old. How long can I, you know, they wanted to get them in there. So we just thought, you know what, we're going to give it a shot. We're gonna start a 2-year-old program. You know, but with the 2-year-old program, you got to be licensed and everything to accept a certain amount of kids. So, you know, we've been working on licensing all year long. We're just waiting on them to give us the you're good to go. You know, we're under the amount of kids that we need to be right now to go without the license, but we're just waiting on them to say yes. We passed all the paperwork, the health inspection, all that kind of stuff's been passed. So we're just waiting on them to say, yeah, you're good to go.
So once they do that, y'all wide open.
We're wide open.
Yeah.
We're wide open. We're hoping to have, you know, right now we have 1 classroom with a lead teacher. We're looking to have 2 to 3 more classrooms.
Yeah.
You know, but this has really boosted our pre-3 program for next year, you know, because we have retained all 2-year-olds that have come in. So they're just going to move right on up to the 3-year-olds, and that's kind of the goal of it, you know. But it's a 12-month program. It doesn't run on school hours. It's run like a daycare.
Wow.
We've done a lot of research on how much daycares cost in this area, and we're below what they charge. So, you know, I think we're a good option if you're looking for someplace to put your 2-year-old and you want to let them start learning early. You know, we try to teach them from the minute they walk through the door.
And St. Mary's is a K-12 school, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So now it'll be pre-K, 2-year-old all the way
through.
We
got 2 to 18-year-olds. It's crazy. You go from one building. Sometimes I just go over there when I'm getting stressed out in the big building. I just go walk over there and see those little kids. Man, they make your day. They'll light you up.
And see why I do this.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna tell you
that's
something.
right. Sometimes it's hard to remember.
It's a calling.
But I love them.
It's a calling to deal with children. I had my grandchildren with me. I think it was Friday. I forget the days when you start dealing with grandchildren. And my youngest grandson, he decides that look like he want to jump in the thing with the alligator. I'm like, no, baby, we can't do that because Pawpaw can't save you. I would probably jump in there and try to fight the gator, but at the end of the day, Pawpaw can't do that. So the 2-year-old program came out of both necessity, because y'all looked at the data to see how many people, because I know I got several folks who really need a 2-year-old, the terrible twos. And right now, y'all just waiting for the green light from the State Department?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a waiting list of kids ready to get in, so it's ready to go.
Yeah. So we were talking some of the trends that's happening in education is 4-day weeks. What's your thought about that?
Oh man. As a teacher, I would love a 4-day week.
Yeah,
as we were talking, you get that extra day, you take that long vacation. On the administrative side of it, though, it's a little bit more difficult to just say, hey, we're just going to go to 4 days. You still got to look at the minutes. You still got to look at the time that the kids are in the classroom, getting educated. You know, it's not the same school hours as we would have now. You know, you'd have to expand the day. You'd have to do some different things to make that work. But I know the teachers would go for it. I'd go for it too sometimes as a teacher.
But things are just, one size don't fit all no more.
Right.
If you go to my brother-in-law was a teacher in Dallas. You got classes for people who have children, that they can go to class in the evening times, and it's just all types of different ways that they are doing education. When you talk about China and things like that, they've been teaching on the platform of looking at looking at a screen. You know, I heard some people say things like, "I can't teach like this." Well, my thing is, probably if you can't teach like this, you can't teach face to face neither, because we just have to be able to pivot, just like COVID taught us.
Oh yeah.
You know, we more, and as it pertains to like preachers, we had to be more imaginative on how we delivered who Jesus was. It had to come from here to there, back here again, you know. And so I believe it really showed some weakness where we were missing a whole lot of things. Now, don't get me wrong. I love face to face because I'm a touchy-feely like kind of person. And a lot of my coaches were the same way. They could holler and yell at me, but the fact that they would come and say, "Harris, we got to get this done," it let me know, hey, listen, they just doing this because they care about me, you know. So I got you on that. However, you know, you look at it. What are some other trending things that's happening in education that you since you started 26 years ago, has education changed in the way we deliver education?
Ooh, has it changed? Gosh, no, it has changed a lot. There are so many, for teachers, there are so many techniques and methods and strategies and things that they can use these days. Technology has you know, for some of our older teachers, they hate it.
I know.
Hate it. And look, I get it, you know.
Yeah.
And some of our newer teachers love it, you know, but
you have to, here's what I say about an educator. There are 3 stages of growth: green, ripe, and rotten. What I've discovered is that if you stay green, you'll never think that I'm ripe, that I know everything, and you'll never go to that last phase of being rotten. Because once you don't want to be in, it's this way or no way, you stop learning.
Yeah.
And so I was taught that you never stop learning. You know,
lifelong learner.
Lifelong
That's
learner.
what you got to be.
Yeah,
That's what you got to be.
And so I guess one of the things that is challenging to everybody, but it ain't going nowhere. It's almost like when the internet came up, we had, especially folks in the church, that's a demon. Everything's a demon to I ain't talking about saved folks, I'm talking about religious folks. Everything's a demon. You gotta cast that demon out. But AI is here.
Yes.
And we're going to classes now to teach us how to use AI. And my daughter is in veterinarian pharmacist. And so she's having to write and things like that. She already understands that they are very, very scrutinizing on AI generated papers and things like that. But one of her professors gave them, wrote to all of them, said, I'm not against AI, but what I am against is you allowing AI to take your thoughts.
That's it.
If she says, and she found out that that professor was not an old professor, but they was like in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He said because she could tell her professors who are older, they just absolutely, they are just against AI. But she says she embraces AI because AI can generate individuals to think more, you know. And
Think about how you use it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you use it, you know. AI is a powerful tool, and it is here,
Right.
you know. And
But don't take my thoughts, because I have my own opinion and the way I want to articulate it.
Mhm.
I want it to be me.
Right.
I want you to know this is what I feel. This is what I'm saying. Yeah.
you know, and we talk with our English teachers, you know, when it comes to writing, you know, grading is different now. You can't just grade the finished product because you got that AI. They can
That's
just
right.
plug that in there. Here it is.
Mhm.
Now you got to grade the process.
Right.
You know, you got to grade the thinking and how they get to this. So, you know, it's a powerful tool, but it's got to be used the right way.
And I was always told that writing should be like a blind person who's painting. It should paint a picture.
Mm-hmm.
That if I couldn't see it, because I'm hearing your words that you wrote, it becomes alive to me.
Right.
Something I've never seen before. A leaf becomes alive to me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some of the challenges too, huh?
Oh yeah. Like I said, there's so much with technology, but kids learn different ways too. You know, in every classroom, you can't teach one way
That's
to one
right.
kid. You got to teach to 20 whatever kids who may learn different ways. So
That's a challenge.
it's a challenge for a teacher to make sure they reach those kids. It's tough.
And here's a challenge to me. I know how I teach, but this person doesn't learn that way.
Right.
This person doesn't learn that way. So the challenge, it's almost like, you know, I do marriage seminars and things like that, and there is a book that I use, a very powerful book. It's called The 5 Love Languages. It's important to me to know the language of my wife. Not for her to know my language. I need to learn her language. The problem sometimes we have in education is that we want every kid to know our language, as opposed to challenging me to know every language that these children are speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we do that, I promise you, we'll have a successful year, you know. But
We may have to go to that 4-day week.
Oh.
They think it's a vacation. It's not. It's extra time to figure out how to teach your kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's that leisure time. Mm-hmm. It's that time that I got off that I can actually think. You know, really and truly, teachers are going through a whole lot. If they could just teach, it'd be great. But then you got all of the bureaucracy and all of the other stuff that they deal with from the State Department. You got to mandate, and then, you know, you're mandated to do this, that, and the other. You wish you could just say, hey, y'all, we're going to be able to teach this year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, that is one good thing about St. Mary's too, though. You know, we do follow state standards and everything like that, but our teachers do have the autonomy to teach it the way that they feel is the best way for those kids to get across. And we don't have to follow anything that's mandated by the state as far as how to teach anything. So they can,
Well, that's good.
That's an advantage our
That's
teachers
great.
have. But, you know, we do follow the state standards, but they do have that autonomy to run their classroom the way they feel best. So they enjoy that. They enjoy that.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's some great brownie points. We talked about what's some of the biggest challenges facing private and faith-based schools today.
Enrollment's the biggest challenge. You know, like I said before, it's people know they have to pay the tuition, and that scares them a lot of times to not even give it a look, because they're afraid that they can't afford it or whatever. But like I said, we do have the scholarship opportunities available. If you can't get those scholarships, you can always come in and talk to us. We're happy to talk with anybody to make it accessible for you.
The alumni has to be a big alumni with St. Mary's being around that long.
Yeah, our alumni are big. We try to, and we're trying to do more things to get them involved. But as many times we can get them on campus, get them talking about St. Mary's, wearing the old St. Mary's shirt, just some way to promote it. We try to do that. But that's some of the biggest sellers of the school is what we have produced as a school. We've got a lot of successful people out there that do all different types of things: doctors, lawyers, welders. I mean, farmers. We have a lot of different people that come to us from a lot of different backgrounds and go out and do a lot of different things. So very successful alumni.
I was thinking about there was a young man, because y'all way down in the Creston area, young man named Joey Harlan. He used to play football. He left us from Lakeview, Campton, go down the area, came up, started playing football, because at that particular time we didn't have no football program at Golden. And so he came up. A few years later, we did get a football program with Campton, and the first people we met up with was St. Mary's. Began to play them and been playing them ever since. But it's the families that their children turn back around and go to St. Mary's.
Yeah, it's we have a lot of those grandparents, great grandparents whose grandkids and great grandkids are still at St. Mary's. They still come to the ball games when they can. They're trying to get around, but it's the family legacy, it's the family, it's the community that we're most proud of. It's when you go to St. Mary's, you're gonna feel like family. You're going to be known. The teachers are gonna know your name when you're walking down the hall. It's a very community-based school.
We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about something that I didn't ask you about, and that's the mission of the school. Because I know there's a mission of the school.
Okay.
Yeah, because the mission going to always drive the way I do things.
Opioids are a class of highly addictive narcotics, including prescription painkillers,
without a mission,
and illegal substances like
a
heroin
vision,
and fentanyl. These drugs
points me in the direction, points everybody else in the direction. And the people who can't line up with the vision or mission, they are quickly weeded out too.
Yes.
Because sometimes folk come in with their own vision and mission about how they think things should go. And I oftentimes remind folks, say, okay, did you remember the vision that we have and how we do things here? Okay. That vision that you were talking about may have been at that other place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I remember just this year, I got a puzzle. And I gave everybody a piece of the puzzle. But I let them see, first of all, what the picture looked like. But then I gave them all a piece of that puzzle. And I told them, I said, every last one of you all are important to the overall picture. But remember, we are one dependent on one another. Because if you don't show up with your piece or with your gift, it distorts the picture.
Right.
Yeah. So I need everybody to be in place so we'll know, and when other folks come, they'll know what the picture should look like. Yeah.
I I've done the puzzle piece before.
Yeah.
I did that a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Sure did.
yeah. Man, one of the
It's so true.
best books, and that's the book I'm going through this year, is John Maxwell's book, with 17 indisputable laws of teamwork. That's a great book. But John Maxwell is a great teacher on leadership too, though. Yeah, because he has 21 irrefutable leadership. And we are back, and we asked about, which I should have asked in the very beginning, about the mission or the vision of St. Mary's.
Our mission is to educate the whole child. We're not just trying to get in the classroom academically, but we want to educate academically, physically, but most importantly, out of school spiritually.
Yeah.
But the mission is to educate the whole child to know, love, and live the faith.
Oh my.
That's what we try to do, and it's
That's
not
awesome.
all about academics.
Yeah.
It's not all about academics. That's obviously a very important part because it is a school,
Right.
and they got to get that diploma. But our ultimate goal is to make sure that those kids get to heaven.
Because at the end of the day, man is a threefold being, and if you don't address the whole man, part of the man is incomplete. So, physically, great, spiritually, mentally, a lot of the pieces that's missing in this country is that we deal with the physical man, we deal with the mental man sometimes, when we're not trying to incarcerate them, that the worst thing I think that ever happened is that we close some of these mental facilities and we begin to say, okay, just lock them up. We don't want to have to deal with them. But all of us walk a fine line between being sane and insane.
Right.
And especially the world that we're living in today. We just came through a pandemic that mentally many of us still haven't gotten over yet, because we're remembering loved ones that we didn't get a chance to say bye. And we've been taught to be taboo about our mental status. Just wave it off and say, just pray to God about it. God will get you through it. But sometimes you need somebody on earth to get you to God so that God can get you through it. So that's why he has counselors and psychiatrists and different ones that can help you unravel some of the stuff and some of the myths that we deal with. And some of them is things like, you never question God. Well, if I'm going to question anybody, it seems like I should be able to question the one who made me and know all about me. Father, why is this going on in my life? So having that mission, I know that you all probably deal with a whole lot of different people from walks of life that they come to you all with not just academic situation. They come to you all with problems from home.
All the time. And that's an issue, because you don't know what a kid came from that morning. You don't know what kind of morning they have when they go to the classroom. They may be in a bad mood. You may think they're being rude to you or disrespectful, but they may have a hard time getting to school that day. They may have a fight with their parent or their brother or sister or whatever it may be, whatever the issue may be. But you don't know where they're coming from every single day. It's different every single day for every single kid, and that's very difficult for a teacher or anybody working in a school. You're not just a teacher or an administrator. Sometimes you got to be a father figure, a mother figure, a counselor,
Yeah.
a friend, you know, a disciplinarian. You have so many hats that you wear as that adult in a school, but that's why it's so important. I think one of the most important thing a teacher can do is get to know your students, because
Wow.
that way you know
Yeah.
if something's off.
Yeah.
And you can go inside and say, hey, John, you know, what's going on today? You're not your normal self, you know, and then it may give them that opportunity to open up to you, and then you get an idea of what's going on.
But
So,
Stephen, that's from 26 years. you've been doing this a long time. But that freshman just started teacher who went to school and they taught him everything you need to know.
they don't teach you that. They don't. I never took a class on that.
Come
one.
on.
I never took that class.
And,
you're right.
And that's why I think it's so important for teachers to, when they first start out, to have a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that can walk them along, because there are things that you cannot learn in college from a book. Absolutely. It's only through exposure and experience.
Yeah. When we get new teachers, we always pair them up with a mentor teacher. And they may not even be a brand new teacher. It could be somebody just new to the school, because every school is different. So you got to learn the ways and the ropes of where you are. But especially those new teachers, we pair them up with someone that's more experienced, that they meet with on a regular basis and just talk about what's going on and ways to get better. So, you know, that's a big part of that conversation, is get to know your kids.
You know, you have, and I didn't know, talk about oppositional, defiant, disorder and thing. Man, listen, we never had that kind of stuff growing up. Because you know what the opposition and defiant disorder would be? First of all, the teacher will whip you.
Yeah.
And then, because you embarrass your parents, they gonna come up there with, you're like, I'm getting beat to death, you know. But I do think, though, we do have children who, for whatever reason, they are defiant with any type of authority, you know. And I've got to know the difference, because I've seen teachers that could handle those type of kids without getting into an altercation with them. Because if you take a kid who is oppositional defiant disorder and you do them in front of a person, oh, you're going to have a problem. But if you take that same kid and say, hey, come on, let's go talk. What's going on today? You know, I just had a bad day, okay? Well, we're going to get through this day, you know, and bring them back. Hey, look, I need you to help me lead in this class. I don't need you. A lot of folks follow you. You know?
Right.
And we had teachers who knew nothing about no opposition or defiant disorder, but they knew the different leaders in the classroom. And they would bring you out and say, hey, look, I look for better from you. You know, help me with this class. Now we take all the smart kids out of the classroom and put them in a class who for exceptional students. Well, what's going to happen to the other kids? I discovered that kids learn better from other children.
You know, that's a big strategy too these days. You know, is those kids working together. It's not all sit and get. You know, where you're being lectured to. It's kids working together.
That's right.
With different, you know, intelligence levels and things like that, so they can help each other. That's what it's about.
So, what are some of the things that do you all get a chance to take your staff and things to different places for workshops, learning things?
At the beginning of the year, we always try to do something. You know, we have those professional development days where we try to bring somebody in and talk to the staff about whatever it may be, whatever our goal is for that year. But you know, during the year, it's hard. It's hard to get away. Everybody's so busy. Like I said, you have to meet all those minutes and everything. But you know, try to give the teachers their own personal lives as well. But we do have those days at the beginning of the year where we do some things like that. Yeah, that's important.
So what's something that you'd like to reiterate, because we're up against the clock, but I want you to be able to talk about some things. I know you said you want them to come out, parents and students that's interested, come out, and I thought that was mine. Mine was doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the best way to find out what St. Mary's is about. I can talk about it all I want. You can go online and look at it. You can talk to other people. But until you step through those doors and you really see what it's like in those doors, you won't really know. So we invite you to come out. We invite you to come visit, take a tour, meet the staff, meet some kids, see what goes on in a classroom. We've had a lot of people who have been thinking about coming to school there, walk through the doors and said, I can't believe it's like this over here. This is amazing.
Right.
And it is. It's an amazing place to be with some amazing people. In 1888, we've been doing it for over 135 years, going strong. We're still going strong, building that enrollment, but we're focus, everything is on God, faith-centered school.
Yeah.
But we are going to get you academically ready for the next level.
Yeah, because God don't want no dummies.
No.
You know? I'm just saying. Do y'all have any big day that you all would say is a day that people can come out and...
There's nothing specific. Any day.
Right.
Any day.
Yeah.
Come visit. Come call Miss Debbie Norman, our Director of Admissions in the front office, and she will set you up. She'll bring you in and walk you around, let you meet everybody. But, there's no particular day. It's any day you want to come. Just come visit. Even if you're really not that interested in coming to school yet, just come see.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. And they are 2-year-old all the way to the 12th grade.
That's right.
And what's the teacher student ratio you'll have?
Oh, and that's a big selling point too. You get that personal touch from every teacher. Our class sizes are very small. I would say the biggest class we might have at one time with a teacher, 23.
Okay.
That they're very small, so you get that personal touch with each teacher.
All right.
They have that opportunity to get hands-on with you.
I ain't trying to bring, but Lakeview too. I'm saying. I gotta plug Lakeview. I gotta talk about mine.
Hey. You talking about football with them, the Red River rivalry?
Oh yeah.
We still got that trophy sitting at St. Mary's, waiting on Lakeview to take it one day.
Hey,
it's in our trophy case. We'll pass it over if it ever happens.
Well, we gonna come see y'all.
It's always good fun, good competition.
That's right, and that's what I like about that. We never stopped playing one another. It was great rivalry. We get through playing, we shake hands, we meet one another in the streets. We all cool. We used to play Nag Central that way, but we ain't played them in years.
Yeah.
I wish that we could all play one another like it used to be back in the day. Because I think you all used to play, especially in basketball and things. Because I remember when Miss Marie Santiago's daughter played for St. Mary's. It was Lakeview who won Class C. It was Niagara Central girls who played, and St. Mary's girls. And there's a couple more. They all played. We all played, especially in the tournament of lights. We used to play. So, come on, y'all. Come on.
That's fun. That's fun.
Whoever is responsible for us playing one another, let's do it again for the kids. Let's do it for the kids. Like one of our superintendents used to say, Mr. Skiller, he said, it's about the kids. So, with that being said, y'all, Stephen, man, thank you for showing up and coming out, man. God bless you.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
God bless you all. God keep you is my prayer. I love you, and you can't do nothing about it. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. I know that everybody in that rebuilding mode. Yeah, because post-pandemic is still lingering.
Yeah.
Even with churches and things, you know. I went to a service, evening service, because man, we don't normally have no evening service. Went to evening service, and when women are not showing up for church like they used to,
Right.
we got a problem. Yeah. So we got to be able to get beyond what all we've been through and know that, hey, let's get back again, you know.
Still trying to wake kids up from COVID.
I know.
I'm telling you, that changed kids in school. They're not all lazy, but gosh, dog, they're lazy. They're lazy. It is a fight. Our teachers fight to keep them engaged. That's why, you talk about all the different things and collaboration. You got to.
Right.
You have to keep them moving and talking.
Right. It challenges us as teachers, but then we have to challenge and engage the children. You know, more innovative ways, and it keeps you thinking, how can I get little Johnny?
It's almost like
you
have to entertain them.
Oh yeah, it is.
And those older ones are like, I'm not entertaining.
I know. But this is a guy. He wasn't going to be a teacher, but his name is Clark. And he does where he comes and speaks to large groups of teachers and things like that. And man, he is good. What's the name of that man? He's a Clark, white gentleman. I think he's written from maybe Arkansas or something.
Okay.
But he speaks all over the country and about how he started out. He wasn't trying to be no teacher. He was trying to be something else and mess around. And for a little while, he was going to teach and, you know, get on up out of there and mess around and had to stay for years and years. And now he's in administration. Now he's not even in administration. He goes all around the world showing how to teach, you know, how to engage children. That teaching is not a cookie cutter type of thing.
Right.
You know, you got to know who your children are, who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So he deals with a lot of inner city, New Orleans, Chicago, L.A. Kind of. But they like him down here because I think they've gone to a few of his conferences.
You have to look him up.
Especially national and international conferences and things like that. Do you get a chance to go to any of those?
Oh, yeah. I go at least one a year.
Yeah.
At least one a year. I went to, I think back in November, I went to Austin to one.
Oh, yeah.
So there was one back there.
Yeah. They got one in San Antonio. Well, they just had that one in San Antonio. It's it's a school board conference. It's a national school board conference. But there's a lot of stuff you can learn.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I hate to get to where people stop wanting to learn. They think they know everything.
I think I go to these things, I hear these people talk, and I'm like, oh man, I'm going to do all I'm doing that. And it's like, oh, that's way too much stuff. Let me pick one thing and work on that.
Have to know. That's what we got to know. When you go and you hear these people talk about what they've done and things, you have to always ask, can this be implemented at a small level where I'm at? Should I leave this alone? Because I may cause more problems than I am solutions. So it's like that with all things, you know, even church stuff. You go to conference and you're excited. Oh my God, God is moving at that church, and you start trying to implement it at your own. You like, hey, did y'all hear what I said? They looking at you like a cow looking at a new gate. You know, I'm scared about going there. You know. But as a visionary, I'm always challenged with, how do I get them to taste and see that the Lord is good? How do I get these children who people have given up on.
Yeah.
That's what I be. I'm always wanting the underdogs, the ones that nobody else wants to teach.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ones I want.
Yeah.
Because I've always been that person who, I'm looking at and I'm saying, no, I don't want the fruit. I want the seed. Because I want to see how it grows.
Right.
I want to be there to help cultivate it, dig around it. Bible said, let it alone one more year. Let me dung around it. In other words, God said, let me put some mess in your life to make you grow up out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either stay in the stank or you can grow up out of the stank, So,
I think even the hard ones, the hard kids, that's all they want. They want somebody to believe in them, somebody to love them and challenge them. And I think sometimes they put on a facade of I'm this tough kid and I don't care what they do.
So when you come to some of your older your older teachers, and you tell them that, what's their mentality about it?
It's a fight.
Oh yeah,
it's a fight.
You just don't know. They shouldn't have to take this. They need an upbringing and this, that, and the other.
As far as getting them to try new things, it's almost impossible. What I've been doing for 40 years is working. I said 40 years. That's the problem. 40 years.
This is what folks don't understand. The way we learn now is different. We got kids who ain't never had the right in cursing, but they can manipulate one of these phones better than I can.
What?
Go in and
I know.
I'm talking about 2 or 3 years old.
I know.
And then we saying, oh, we didn't. Well,